Hi everyone, this is our apostrophe. Let's check out Pentiment running on Series X. Okay, what we got here? Not much. Easy read fonts, yes please. I don't want stylized fonts. It's the stupidest thing ever. Supposed to erase this, okay. We're starting over. Artist sleeps. An artist's mind. And the abbot said to me, Andreas, I don't want you distracting the sisters in the library. I need you to finish this commission by the end of April. Keep your conversations with Brother Piero to a minimum. Distracting the sisters in the library. Up to the devil's work again, are you? Don't encourage him. Devotion to one's work can yield pleasures of the mind superlative to those of the body. Either you need to spend time with more exciting lovers, or I need to learn how to work the Socrates way. How do you reply to the abbot, Andreas? I apologize and said I'd be more mindful. I said it's not my fault God made me this handsome. I ignored him, which is what the comment merited. Well, I said it's not my fault God made me this handsome. You're insufferable. Alas, this Christian faith views desire less favorably than I did in my time. Oh? Perhaps this longing for you will instill them a greater appreciation for beauty. Right, try telling that to the abbot next time, Andreas. Despite the abbot's ire, you must endure. Soon you will have finished both the abbot's work as well as your masterpiece. And then you will return to Nuremberg, where marriage and your new life as a master await you. Yes, marriage to someone he has never met. Hardly ideal. Well, the alternative is becoming a philosopher. Oh, Jesus, then you should definitely get married. Is she pretty at least? That's what my brother said in his letter, but maybe he's just trying to lift my spirits. The small portrait they sent me was lovely, but we artists can be flatterers. Who knows? That's not why I'm doing it anyway. It is growing late. The wheel of time stops for no man, Andreas. I fear you must leave us. Ah, true, your majesty. Will you visit us again soon? Hopefully, but it is out of my control, Your Majesty. I don't know, Your Majesty. Oh, I can't always dream. Well, I can't always dream of this place, Your Majesty. I don't know. I will pray for your safety and a swift return. Grobian, please see Andreas safely home. Of course, Your Majesty. Until next time, Andreas. Until next time, Your Majesty. Pay no mind to the other fools, Andreas. I never do. Ow! At least I would if they stopped stepping on my feet. Watch where you're going. They're fools, Andreas. No point in trying to teach them anything. I know old John wants to endure the abbot's shit, but since I take you home, I get the last word. Don't let him run you ragged, boy. I won't. The abbot can't push me around. He's just trying to keep order in the abbey. I'm an outsider. It'll be fine. I will be fine. I don't want to cause any trouble. That's no way to think about it. You need to stand up for yourself. Yeah. Would you please I give up. Take me home, Grobian. As you wish, Andreas. Good morning, Ursula. Come and... time to get up. Part 1, The Baron, April 1518. The Bacatrix, Key of Solomon, the Hemtemin, Prior France keeps giving me all these books to read. I really should clean this up. And okay. What's wrong with her? Good morning, Andreas. Did you sleep well? Quite well, actually, thank you. Ordinary, as far as sleeping goes. Not well, but there's nothing to be done about it. Ordinary, as far as sleeping goes. Well, as long as you didn't sleep poorly. Anyway, I know you'll be off to the Abbey, so I packed you some food. Almonds, cheese, and some of the rye you like from the Albans. Otto wanted me to ask you to join him for dinner at the Abbey. Otto stopped by? Yes, around dawn. Here you are, Andreas. That's kind of you, Claw. Many thanks. Master Andreas, if it wouldn't be too much trouble, could we... Would it be too much trouble if you paid next month's rent today? And if we raised it by 2 groschen? I hate to ask, but we're behind on our taxes to the Abbey. 2 months behind. Peter's losing his hair over it, even more than usual, I mean. Of course, no problem at all. Besides, we wouldn't want Peter to lose any more of his precious hair. Oh, I suppose that's not out of the question. Yes, I think I can manage that. I can't promise anything. I'll see what I can do. Well, wait. Were there unpaid? Were these taxes unexpected? I'm not sure. Sure, yeah. Oh, God bless you, Andreas. And may St. Luke watch over you today. Speaking of St. Luke, how's your masterpiece coming along? It's been 2 months now, hasn't it? Slowly, I'm afraid. Most of my days are spent doing work for the Abbey. It's only during the Divine Office... Well, it's only during the Divine Office that Prior Ference allows me to work on my masterpiece. A reasonable restriction, but slow going. The city council doesn't require it to become a master. I'm making it mostly to show clients, and for my own sake. And yes, when I do finish, I will go back to Nuremberg, where I will marry and open a workshop of my own. From Nuremberg to a university and now traveling the world as an artist. What a life you have ahead of you, Master Andreas. Yes, I suppose it does feel like I'm starting a new chapter in my life. Some wandering. It must be rather frightening starting all over again. I owe it to my family to make something of my life. It is, but I know now that this is what I want to do. Not many people get to decide that. Certainly not anyone in passing. Anyway, I don't know anything about art, but I've seen you sketching such beautiful things in your little book. Your masterpiece must be wonderful. It's getting there. Hard work will get you all the way. That's what my father used to say. God rest his soul. Now, I have to get back to my own work. Have a good day at the Abbey, Andreas, and we'll see you after Vespers for supper. Not tonight, but thank you. Claude Drucker invited me over for supper. Of course. Please say hello to the Druckers for us. Of course. Until then, Clara. So do I actually have money? I don't know. Hello, Andreas. Oh, wow, I can really jet, huh?
Morning, Andreas.
Good morning, Big Yorg. How's it going? You working today?
Just taking a rest for a bit. Dad's still in the field. He hit a big rock with the plow and it took me Lord knows how long to pull it out. You off to the Abbey?
Where else would I be going?
Damn, Andreas. I don't know. Just making conversation. Smells like a storm coming now.
Smells just like fresh alpine air to me.
You've been traveling too much. Where was it you spent your Wanderherr before you came to Tassing?
Pick a background that will affect your character's choices going forward. Please hold and confirm your choice. Basel, and Andreas knows some Italian and French and can reference cultural touchstones from Basel and nearby Bern, Zurich, and Freiburg. Flanders, Andreas knows some Dutch and French and can reference cultural touchstones from Antwerp, Bruges, and Ghent. Italy, Andreas knows Italian, a little Greek, and can reference cultural touchstones from Florence, Venice, and Milan. Let's see, Dutch, Italian, some Italian and French, Dutch and French, Italian, Greek. How about Dutch and French? Antwerp, Bruges, and Ghent, all the great art cities of Flanders.
Where's that?
North and west, down by the sea.
There's your problem. The sea air has confused your sense of smell. Spend enough time in these mountains and you'll be able to smell a storm coming.
How long will that take?
10, 15 years.
I don't think I have that long, Big Yorg.
What'd you spend all that time in Flanders doing anyway? Other than art, I mean.
Hedonist Andreas seeks out pleasure wherever he goes. He is extremely social and quite experienced in all of the enjoyable vices of the world. Craftsman Andreas lives to work and dedicates all his time to his art. Bookworm Andreas spends all of his non-working free time finding and reading as many books as he possibly can. Rapscallion Andreas has a penchant for getting involved in petty schemes, pranks, minor crimes, and fistfights. Businessman Andreas devotes much of his time to self-promotion, optimizing business expenses, making investments, balancing his books. I guess craftsman makes more sense. Other than art, nothing. That's what I was here for. Or that's what I was there for. Art is the whole point, Big Yorg. The craft. I don't have time for anything else.
Oh, sorry I asked. Anyway, I have to get going.
Yorg, let's go.
Dad's already acting like I'm too long even. I'm taking too long even though I did all the work to get that rock out. See you later, Andreas.
Until later. Andreas. Or Andreas.
God bless you. Andreas.
Oh, yes, Andreas. The weather has been god awful. The town's gone to shit since my days. I don't think the townsfolk can do much about the weather.
Huh, were things very different when you were young?
As different as beer and piss. The old abbot didn't bother us much about our customs. He didn't mind if we let a little offering to Puncher to keep the skies clear, the weather fair. Matthias knew that Christ was in our hearts, even if the White Lady's name was on our lips.
The church banned all observance of pagan gods. Il Peter.
Sort of old customs.
I thought St. Moritz protected tossing. You think that spirits have been fouling the weather since no one follows the customs anymore? I thought St. Moritz protected tossing.
Yes, and St. Satya too. But who do you think protected it before they came along? The saints weren't the first to watch over tossing. My father knew that. Old renegade Kemper knew that. That bastard abbot may not like it, but some of us keep the traditions alive.
Like the old widow, Ottilia? I won't mention that to the abbey. What do these traditions entail?
When you get up in the night to take a piss, go around the right side of the house and never go back the same way. That way the witches don't steal your soul.
Oh, how interesting. I should go.
All right. God bless you.
Hello, Andreas. Ender Schmidt's smithy. It's so much smaller than the one he uses at the abbey.
Martin, please, can you give me a hand here?
What do you want? I'm keeping an eye on them.
That looks a lot like standing there and doing nothing. Martin, for Christ's sake, help your cousin. Morning, Andreas. Excuse us, one of the fence rails fell and the sheep started hopping it.
Is there something I can do to help? No excuse, I'll try to stay out of your way. Or, no, excuse me, I'll try to stay out of your way. Come on, idiot. Are you going to help them? I should offer to... Something I can do?
Have you ever handled sheep before?
Well, no.
Then no, but thank you. Christian of you to offer. Oh look, there's something going on up at this Steinar's place.
Who's that on the horse? Looks rich.
I don't know, Martin, but Lucky is giving him an earful. Christ, I haven't seen Lucky that worked up since Peter and Klaus' wedding when Johann pulled his pants down. Knocked two of my men's teeth out. You don't want to feel the strength behind a stonemason's anger.
Do you think he's a noble? He looks really rich.
God damn it, Martin. Stay out of trouble for once.
What, Aunt Hetty?
Behave yourself. Don't we have enough to deal with right now? Andreas, if you wouldn't mind moving your skinny little body up the road ahead, we need to get these sheep under control.
Of course. See you later. Don't work too hard, Martin. Good luck. Help your aunt and your cousin, alright?
Eat shit, Andreas.
What?
Morning, Andreas. How's it going?
Morning, Claus. Another day at the Abbey, another few hours to work on my masterpiece.
Good to hear. You still coming by for supper tonight? Mary and Bert would love to see you. You really need to see these new woodcuts I have for an Italian edition of Till Ulspiel.
I didn't realize Father Thomas let you print books in Italian.
Come on, Andreas. He's not that strict. I know he's just trying to protect people from hearsay, witch mania, fetcher stories of questionable moral repute, your sloppy typesetting, witch mania. Oh God, don't say that, Andreas. We're less than a day's ride from Innsbruck. No need to get people around here all worked up about witches again. Besides, don't talk about witches around Father Thomas. Just a bad idea.
Huh, good to know.
So, supper tonight after Vespers?
Of course, thank you.
Great. I'll tell Marie and Bert you're coming. See you then.
See you later.
God bless Master Maler. I hope your week is going well.
Oh, thank you, Father. I'm going quite well. I'm just on my way up to the hill to get work.
Good, good. Andreas, I don't recall seeing you at Sunday morning Mass. You understand how important it is for your salvation that you receive Holy Communion, don't you?
Yes, I apologize, Father Thomas. I promise you I'll make it this Sunday. I do, but I've been working on sketches.
Sure, yeah, whatever. You don't have to make a promise to me, but our salvation is contingent on the... Oh my, what a blessed day to receive such an illustrious visitor. Master Maler, this is Lawrence, Baron of Rothvogel, and a great lord from the countryside near Worms.
Good to see you, Father Thomas. It is nice to be remembered fondly. I only wish all of your neighbors were as welcoming.
Well, yes. What brings you back to our little town?
My wife and I were returning from a trip to Venice. We spent a few days in Innsbruck, and it was terribly dull. I mean, it has a certain charm common to these alpine cities, but the place was crawling with nobles for the Emperor diet.
The Emperor? Was he there? Did you see him?
Oh, briefly, but he was sitting from a portrait at the time. Quite lovely. I didn't want to bother him or the painter. Why was the diet assembled, my lord? Oh, nothing you need to worry about. Austrian things, Habsburg things, boring even for nobles. Anyway, my wife wanted to stay a bit longer in Innsbruck, and I decided to ride ahead to make a visit to Kirsten. I heard Father Matthias died shortly after my last visit, of course.
A great loss for the Abbey and for us all.
Indeed. By good fortune, I recently came across a copy of the Historia Tassai he was reading during my last visit. Father Matthias was hoping to find a second copy to corroborate the contents of the first. It contains some fascinating details about the history of this place. I'm afraid they might even cause a bit of a scandal.
Ah, yes.
But I must be off. There will be time enough to discuss Tassin's past letter. I commissioned a manuscript from the Abbey through Father Gernot, and I have come to check on its progress.
Oh my lord, if you have come to see your manuscript, you should speak with young Master Maler here.
Not quite a true master yet. I still have yet to marry and be approved by our city council.
Andreas is a journeyman artist from Nuremberg. For the next few months, he's also helping in the Abbey scriptorium.
A Nuremberg artist working in Abbey scriptorium in 1518? Oh, we should talk, Andreas. I must know the story.
Of course, my lord. It would be an honor. Well, I'm already late to the Abbey, but I suppose it's all right.
Schirmanger would find little entertainment or companionship in me. I was already late, yeah. Of course it is. I'll have a word with the abbot if he makes a fuss. And if he still makes a fuss, I'll have a word with Prince Bishop of Freising, a good friend of mine. Thank you for the introduction, Father Thomas.
Come to supper at the Abbey tonight. I'm inviting you to the Abbot's table. Did the Abbot invite me? Oh, don't worry about it, Father. Just show up after Vespers. What's he going to do? Refuse us? Excellent. We'll see you then. Miklos, I'm dismounting. Run ahead of us and take the horses to the Abbey's guest house. I'd like to take my time walking with Master Maler. I'll meet you there. At once, my lord. So then, a journeyman from Nuremberg. Forgive me for saying so, but you seem a little old to not get to be a master. Are you unmarried? No, I'm not unmarried, but in truth I came to my vocation later than my father and brothers. I was in university for a number of years, at Unfurt. Unfurt. Wonderful. The same university as Martin Luther. Have you read his works? Tremendous mind. He says things about the church that should have been said years ago. Might get him into trouble, but he's a brave, brilliant man. Wait. You may have met him. Did you? You must tell me. Ah, no. He was a few years ahead of me. Still, his ideas do seem fascinating. His ideas don't hold much of interest for me, I'm afraid. Yeah, sure. I agree wholeheartedly. I simply must meet him if I get the chance. I wonder if the good brothers of the Abbey have heard of him. Perhaps they have even read his list of 95 theses against the Church. Father Matthias was not above having a lively debate. I hope Father Gurner does not disappoint in that regard. But enough about Luther for now. Tell me about your university studies. Forgive me, Baron, but did you attend university? You seem very well educated. No, my family's merely wealthy enough to have provided me with all the books and tutors a child could dream of. I have all knowledge, from Aristotle to Cicero to Finzo to Erasmus, and everyone in between, and yet to come. I may have misjudged the Baron. It seems he is as well read as any university student. In truth, I am simply happy to speak with another well-educated man. Now then, did you earn your doctorate? No, I didn't. Only a master's degree. Started working towards the doctorate, but didn't finish. Ah, that's a shame. Well, what was your area of study? Theology. Andreas has a strong understanding of Catholic theology, biblical knowledge, canon law, heresies, and similar subjects. Imperial law. Andreas knows the basics of the fractured system of laws that govern the various states of the Holy Roman Empire. Medicine. Andreas is familiar with the basics of human biology, medicine, and illness. Medicine. All things medical, studying the latest and greatest texts coming out of Italy. Yes, the Italians continue to innovate in that area. Extraordinary, really. Fascinating work. Who knows what secrets we may learn about the human body in decades to come. Yo! If I had any faith, I would have prayed you'd never show your face here again. Curse you, Lawrence Rothvogel. Perchance dogs tearing you to pieces would be too kind of fate. These rustic communities display a shocking lack of hospitality, don't you think? What was that about? Who knows? By the time I've finished guessing, the old crone will probably be dead. Well, what of your early time in university? Every student must study the trivium and quadrium, yes? Did you have a favorite subject? Latinist. Andreas has a strong command of Latin grammar and vocabulary. He can also easily recall Sinicia Aquiae, quarter words of the wisdom from the Roman Republican Empire. Logician. Andreas instinctively thinks through the implications of information as he receives it. It is adept at spatial analysis and easily perform complicated calculations on his head. Orator. Andreas excels at rhetoric in university. He is a skilled teacher, persuader, and public speaker. Occultist. Andreas knows a soul-endangering amount of theoretical and practical knowledge on alchemy, astrology, virology, neuromancy, and various magical rites and ceremonies. Heavens and earth. Andreas knows a great deal about the constellations, heavenly bodies, and their movements. He's also familiar with various plants and animals from studies and personal experience. How about occultist? I use my access to the university library to pursue more esoteric interests.
Oh? Esoteric how?
Mystical texts, books on alchemy, invoking spirits, divinations. Purely academic, of course.
Of course.
I started with Fincino's Corpus Hermeticium, and my interest only deepened from there.
Quite interesting, Andreas.
It'll take some time to speak with you, or I'll make some time to speak with you more on this topic during my stay. As you wish, my lord.
And your other studies? Was there anything else you excelled at?
Oh, jeez. Okay. Latinus, logician, orator. I think logician is good. Logic, geometry, and arithmetic.
Quite interesting for an artist. Was Aristotle's organon the foundation of your study?
Yes, the organon for logic and Euclid's elements for geometry. But the past few centuries have yielded wonderful new texts on logic. Peter Abelard provided the foundation of scholastic philosophy and established the primacy of Aristotle's work. The Englishman William of Ockham gave us the Summa Logicae, arguing nominalism against Platonic realism. And of course, Thomas Aquinas gave us the tools to employ both faith and reason in the pursuit of truth. All monks and friars, of course, a great deal of work to force Aristotle to fit within the Church's vision of truth.
Is that so wrong?
I question these great men should have had to wrestle logic into what the Church establishes by fiat and force.
Ah, there's the Abbey.
I have good memories of this place, and of Father Matthias. I was sad to hear of his passing. How did you come to know him? How did you come to know of Kyrso at all? My family have been patrons of Kyrso for, I don't know how many generations. Some years ago I heard that Kyrso still had a wonderful library and artisans. Professional artists have taken over most manuscript production, so I was shocked to find an active scriptorium here. Well, there's not much left of it these days. 2 old men, a young scribe, and me. This is as good a place as any to create art. Artists that remain here are quite talented, if a bit old-fashioned.
Well, Kyrso is more than a bit old-fashioned.
Some of my friends think I'm mad for commissioning a manuscript from an abbey in this day and age. But, well, my family has been patrons of Kyrso for generations. It seems wrong to stop now whilst there's still talent here. I commissioned a manuscript through Father Gernot a year ago. I thought I would stop by and check on the progress.
Wait, are you the artist working on it?
It's a prayer book with 20 illustrations.
I know the work, but no, I do know the artist well, the venerable Brother Piero.
How venerable? He still has a wife and his skills, if that's what concerns you. Brother Piero has an incredible talent with color. Then I very much look forward to seeing it.
Miklos, tend to the horses and the baggage. I'm heading up to the Abbey.
Yes, my lord.
Well, let's not keep the abbot waiting any longer. Nuns.
Quite unusual for a Benedictine house to have monks and nuns, even if they are separated. The church closed most of them centuries ago. But then, Kyrso is a place out of time in more ways than one. Do you know Mother Cecilia? She seemed to recognize you.
We are acquainted, yes. Let's leave it at that.
Ah, you must be Father Gernot. I am Lorenz, Baron of... Yes, the Baron of Rothervogel. It's so wonderful to have you here again. We actually did meet on your last visit.
Ah,
you say so. I am not good with remembering faces. Please forgive me, my lord, but I wasn't expecting you for another few days. Yes, I know, but I rode ahead. I just couldn't wait to see my manuscript. I'm sure it's no trouble. Well, yes. I mean, no, it is no trouble. Did you want to see it now? Oh, in a moment. I could do with a bit of refreshment, though. May I grab something from the kitchen? Yes, certainly, my lord. I will meet you there. Andreas, I don't know what you were doing with the Baron, but I need you in the scriptorium now. Of course, Father, I'm going to get to work. Then get to work. Shit, I should have asked him about an advance on the Goodness taxes. Maybe I could just convince Brother Matthew to pay me early. Let's see, we've got the church, the lower abbey, the shrine, convent garden, and the cloister. What's going on in the church, I guess. Let's see, monastery and aquarium. Rutger. God bless you, Andreas. Have your voice yet recovered from Easter Mass, Rutger? Ah, yes, it was a bit of a strain, but a worthy sacrifice. Well, if the Lord could give us his all on Easter. Exactly. Have a good day in the scriptorium. Have a good day singing. Crypt Tower. Dormitory. Old Bailey. Mathau. What are you doing, Mathau? Ah, God bless you, Andreas. How's the sacristy today, Mathau? The same as yesterday. Does my vocation seem silly to you, Master Maler? No, I was just being friendly. Then go in peace, friend, knowing that the Abbey treasures are secure. Knowing that the Abbey treasures are secure for another day. God be with you. One more thing, I have a favor to ask. Yes, Andreas? I was hoping you could give me my pay for my latest manuscript early. I'd like to collect my wages. Prior Fernac hasn't informed me that you finished any new manuscripts. You'll be paid on the completion of each additional manuscript you illuminate, not before. I only have a few pages left, Brother Matthew. I'll finish them in the next few days anyway. Then I think you can wait a few days to collect your wages. This abbey runs through mutual agreements, not haphazard payments. Breaking such contracts would cause undue trouble not only for Kirsa, but for Tassing as well. So my Father Abbot has increased the taxes on the Gurtners. What is this about, Andreas? The Gurtners has asked me for their rent early so they can pay the taxes to the Abbey. I would like to help the Gurtners pay their taxes to the Abbey. Lie, I need the money, brother. I've made a grave error and I'm in debt. If I had the coin, I'd be able to pay it off. I'd like to help the Gurtners. The Gurtners' failure to pay their taxes have reached even you, I see. Very well. Do not ask this of me again, Andreas. Here you are. I shall note this with Father Gernot and Prior Fernac. Thank you, Brother Mathau. God bless you, Andreas. Why is he so tiny? He's like... Alright, now that I've got my payment, I can give Clara the rent early. I'll give it to her directly to make sure she receives it. I'll put it on the table in the evening to surprise them. No, hand to hand. Give it to me. Deliver it by hand. It's in the dormitory here. I don't even know where I'm supposed to be going. I mean, I know where I'm supposed to be going, but I don't know how to get there. The church. Old Bailey. Kitchen and cellar. Cemetery. Church. Sabon. God give you health, Master Maler. Ah, Brother Sabon, I'm surprised to see you still here. As I am, but I will be leaving soon, returning to Rome. And I and my bishop regret that we could not reciprocate Father Rodolph's generosity earlier. He showed much kindness to our priest at the Council of Constance many, many years ago. Will you remain in Rome? This is up to my bishop, but I will miss these mountains in any case. You should travel to Ethiopia, Master Maler, and see the highlands. God has blessed my home with a wondrous beauty. I'd love to, someday. I still need to return to Nuremberg and open my workshop. Yes, someday. Until then, if you are in Rome, I may still be around. I would like that. By the way, if you have some time in the next few days, it would be nice to share a meal with you and some of the townsfolk. The townsfolk? I am accustomed to strange looks, especially in rural places like these, but I have had kind words from the baker and his wife. Oh yes, the Albans, Ulrich and Gret. I offered to tell a story to the children and their mothers over a meal someday. Gret seemed excited about the idea, but I would be more comfortable if you were there as well. I can certainly make time. Do you not eat here with the brothers? Yes, but I'm a guest. I am not bound by the rules as they are. Father Gernot kindly allows me to come and go as I need to. I'll make time for you in the next few days. Thank you, Andreas. I look forward to it. God give you health. The refectory, courtyard and lavatory, large gardens. Well, this place is huge. Monastery and aquarium, chapter house. Infirmary. Upper Abbey. Alright, I'll tell you what, why don't we, yeah, why don't we stop it there? This is audapostrophe. You have been watching Pentiment running on Series X. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I think it's really well done, like the artwork and the soundtrack. I think are you know, again, incredibly well done. The script, you know, I think. It depends on how much knowledge of history you have, you know, old ancient history, whether or not you'll enjoy this that much. You know, I thankfully do have some knowledge of this period of time. But even some of these events here are sort of making my memory struggle a bit. So I think, again, this may influence you to perhaps do a little bit more reading about this time and this era in order to, I think, get the most enjoyment out of it. But even with that said, I think there's enough contextual conversation out here for you to at least kind of understand what's going on. Though again, it'd be more enriched if you were more familiar with all the events in this location and around this time period. But yeah, check it out. It's part of the Xbox Game Pass, so you know, you're not really risking anything by playing it if you're already part of the service. If not, then yeah, I would think this is a game made for very specific audiences. I don't know if most people would really even dig this kind of game, especially with it being written in the way that it does, or that it is written, because you'd be constantly checking that glossary in order to understand what everybody's talking about, which is good. Or at least I'm glad that's there. Yeah, I mean, I can't remember the other game that was set in this old time period, but I had a lot more fun with that game. Let me see if I can find it. I know I've heard of. I know we played it on here, and we didn't finish it, but it's one of those games that's always been on my mind. Oh yeah, Procession to Calvary. So, if you want a game that's like this, I think, but has a bit more of a wicked, humorous twist, then the Procession to Calvary, I think, is probably the better choice. This is right now it's a bit more serious. Certainly not what I was expecting, but again, if that's what you're into, then check it out. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching. I will see you with the next stream.